So what's funny is I've known Mike for what about a month or so, 6 weeks, maybe 2 months at most.
Maybe
Um,
2 months, maybe 2 months going on three, possibly.
okay, yeah, I lost track of time, but it's funny. Uh, I relate to Mike quite a bit, both professionally and personally. But we met on LinkedIn. Someone that I'm connected with on LinkedIn, like, shared one of Mike's posts. He's posted something about surveying guitar players. I've been a guitar player for almost my entire life. And I was just like, sure, I'll participate in a survey, no big deal. So I sent, Mike a message on LinkedIn, and we set up an opportunity to meet, and we hit it off. And, I've learned a lot from him, both as an entrepreneur and as a guitar player. Mike is a extremely talented musician, has a master's in guitar, and is originally from Cyprus, which is pretty amazing. And also just won Guitar Teacher of the Year this year. So a lot of amazing accolades, and I'm very excited to have him speak to you a little bit today about what it means to be an entrepreneur, but also a creative person, and sort of his journey to becoming an entrepreneur. And with that, I'll turn it over to you.
Wow, what a lovely introduction. I don't know how much you've learned from me, both professionally and on the guitar, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay, lovely, lovely. So, first of all, good morning, everyone. And I want to thank both Rob and Iona College and the department for this opportunity. I don't know. Uh, Everyone here is who could raise their hand and tell us, like, are you interested in becoming a speaker of some sort, even if it's not like what you do for a living, but that you speak. Carly, I see you. Okay, cool. I want to hear about you and what you want to talk about. Anybody else want to be a speaker of some sort one day? Speak at either colleges, schools, conferences, anything like that? So, yeah, one thing that I realized last night is that obviously speaking is all about what value you can give to the crowd, right? So today it's all about what value I can give you, because at the end of the day, it's not about me. Nobody cares about whatever accolades I had or not. I want to use an expression, but I don't know what I'm allowed to say here or not. But no one gives a something ass, like they say, an expression. But I realized last night that when you're speaking in the days like the day before, it causes you to think about all the breakthroughs that you've had, because that's what people care about, right? I think like you're gonna resonate more with me if I tell you what I've had to go through to get to where I'm at now. Like you wouldn't just care if I just told you, okay, this is what I'm doing now. Who cares? But like, what did I have to go through to get to here? And as a speaker, it's always nice to be reminded of your struggles and how you overcame them, right? Um, so again, thank you, Rob. Thank you to the college, and thank you all for being here. Because if you weren't here today, then what would be the point of this? There would not be a point, right? So, and I want to start by saying that I wish I took a class like this in college. Like, I got a undergraduate degree and then a master's in music, in guitar, and guess what? They didn't even offer a class like this in my master's degree program because I was in studying music, right? I think they were offering a course like this in undergrad, but I don't think I even like saw the point in it. So the fact that you are here today is like you're already like on you're winning. You're winning just by being here today, because the fact that I don't know why each and one of you are in this class. I don't know if it's a prerequisite or whatnot, but I do know that having entrepreneurial skills is the best thing that you can do for your life, for your family, for your friends, for your career. Whether you end up working for an amazing company or you build an amazing company, learning the things that you learn with Professor Kistner is the right path, honestly. And I don't even know where I'd be now if I were taking a class like this in college, if I started thinking entrepreneurially before. Let me introduce myself. So, my name is Mike, and I was a miserable server at a Greek restaurant because, as you can see from my last name, it looks pretty Greek. I'm an immigrant, so I moved to the States in 2013, and in like 2016, 2017, I had a master's degree from a good music program, and I was still I was teaching a little guitar. I was doing some social media work for some friends, and I was working at a restaurant. And neither of those things made me happy. Like I was like, I don't think I'm good at any of them. And I knew I didn't like working at the restaurant. But hey, it was a job, right? It was a job, and I'm grateful I had it. But I was not feeling like I was a boss. I was not feeling like I figured my life out, right? So, and I remember one day at the restaurant, I was like, man, this can't be it for me. Like this just can't be, I come from a successful family, and I was just like, why aren't things working out for me? Who? Please raise your hand and let me know. If you've ever felt like, why aren't things working out for me? Yes, Carly, everyone. Armando, please. Yeah. By the way, the more you participate, because again, this is not about me. This is about us, right? Yeah. So you've all been there. Why are things not working out for us? Hey, Carly, what do you want to talk about when you become a speaker?
So I'm a public relations major. So my entire job will be like speaking and giving pitches and conferences and stuff like that. But I want to either have my own firm or like become a manager of a firm.
Wow, ambitious. I like it. So what kind of firm?
A public relations firm. Most likely for like entertainment or like fashion.
Very nice. Very nice. I could use some tips on fashion and how to be more entertaining. Okay, so I'll resume, but let me just ask, who here? Raise your hand if you want to start your own business, or if you have a. Actually, who has a business right now? Raise your hand. Let's see. I'm looking. Marisol, awesome. Cool. Who wants to start a business in the next, I don't know, 2 years? In the next 2 years. Who wants to start a business in the next 2 years? Laydan, yes. Armando, cool. I'm going to ask you some questions a little later on. And Joe, awesome. Who already knows here what their dream job would be, whether it's the company or the role? Anybody have a dream job, dream role? I can't see your name, but I can see your hand. Salvatore, Charles, Colleen. Awesome. Good stuff. So, good. Right. So, let's go back to my story. Hopefully it's a good one. So I was at the restaurant, and just one day I was just thinking to myself, what is going on? This is not right. This can't be. So, how did I get from there? How did I get from there to now? That was, again, like I said, 2016 to 2017. So now in 2021, now I was awarded in December. I'm just trying to think about what to say first, right? In December, I was awarded by Guitar World magazine. That's for those of you that are not into guitar. And if you're not, shame on you. Kidding. Guitar World magazine is like the New York Times for guitar, right? And they had, for the first time this year ever, they had a Guitar Teacher of the Year award, right? So they've had Guitar Player of the Year for like God knows how long, but somehow they decided that this year they'd give a teacher an award, and I won it, believe it or not. And so I've had players from all over the world see that, find out about me. And now I teach. Like, I love my students. I love who I teach. Yes, it's still work. But I know what my purpose is, and my purpose is to help my students reach new levels on the guitar. But through my approach, I want to just let them know that there's nothing that they can't do, whether it's on guitar or not. With patience, persistence, and perseverance, you can accomplish anything, whether it's on guitar or anything else. So, yeah, again, now I love my business. I love my job. I love serving my clients. And how did I get from now, or how did I get from then to now, right? Because at least to me, it feels like a big jump, right? It feels like a big jump. And again, even back then in 2016, I felt like I wasn't really great at anything. All right? Could you raise your hand and be honest, right? And take it with pride. Like, have you ever felt like, yeah, like I'm not really good at anything. Or I'm not great at anything. Yeah. Hey, if you raise your hand, yeah. Raise it with pride, right? So I know what that's like, right? So honestly, the one thing that took me from there to now is just one thing. I didn't give up. I didn't give up on myself, and I didn't give up on my dream, right? As an immigrant, I've always been inspired by people who have come to this country, like Arnie. I'm not into bodybuilding, but who doesn't love Arnie, right? And many other immigrants who came here and just became who they are now. I've always been inspired by that. That's always what I looked up. That's what I thought an immigrant should. That's the kind of immigrant I wanted to be. But I wasn't that, obviously, back then. So, but literally the one thing that I did, and the one thing that I want you to take out of our time together is, no matter where you are, just don't give up. Don't give up on yourself, and don't give up on the vision you have for yourself. Who here has? Can you, like, if you close your eyes and think about it, do you like? And I know you guys are you're a little younger, but can you think of like where you'd want to be in a couple of years' time? Like, could you imagine the most successful version of yourself? Can you see yourselves in the future being like rock stars? Yeah? Yes. Awesome. So yeah, I literally just didn't give up. I'll give you a little more detail. So with my wife last night, we were watching a mediocre, in my opinion, mediocre film, right? Oh, by the way, back then I was also like, uh, I didn't have at the time. I didn't have an ideal partner either, and now like I'm married and have an amazing wife. So that's another big win. Um, so yeah, last night we were watching this kind of like, in my opinion, average film, but you may like it more than I. It's a film with Jack Black in it. It's called One Year, or uh, I was just watching it on
Year
Netflix.
one. Year
Year
one.
One. Who said that?
I
Charles?
did.
Charles.
I've seen it.
Yeah. Thank you, Charles. Thank you. So yeah, Year One. It's on Netflix, right? And it's just literally, it's Jack Black, right? He's in this village, prehistoric village where like, there are hunters and stuff like that, in huts and stuff. And just kind of like me, he's just like, he's not, he knows he has more potential and he hasn't tapped into it, right? That's literally how the movie starts. And then it's Jack Black, and then Charles, what's the other actor's name? What's his name? The actor?
Michael Cera.
Michael Cera. You guys know Michael Cera, right? Yeah, so yeah, Michael Cera. So long story short, like Jack Black just knows that that the way things are at the village, like he's not who he wants to be there, right? So he's like, and nobody likes him either, right? So he decides to well, he gets kicked out really, and out of the village, and then goes on this quest to figure out what it is, how to unleash his true potential. And there's a lot of disaster in this film. Like things are still not working out for him. But here's the one thing that I really liked about the film is that every time he got into a mess, right? Every time it seemed like things were getting worse and worse, like the scenarios, like, but he wouldn't stop and be like, oh man, I'm done. I'm done here. Like there's no way out of here. Like he would always do something to better the situation. Like he didn't even know, a lot of the times in the film, he didn't even know what like the best thing to do is to make things better. He would literally just do the first thing that came to mind. And I was thinking to myself, wow, like sometimes we may not know what it is that we need to do to get closer to where we want to be. But if we don't do anything, then we're stuck where we are, right? So sometimes just doing anything to move you forward is what you need to do. And in the film, he would do these like the woman that he wanted in the film was about to be thrown in a pit of fire, and he didn't really know how to save her, but he just did like what he did, the first thing that he thought of doing, and then in the end, it worked out, right? But that can happen in life too. So, again, like I said, I was just like going back to my life. I was like, this can't be. And then sometime in in late 2017, I just had this idea. I was like, okay, I've tried this and I've tried that. What is the one thing that I've spent the most time doing in my life? Meaning, like, you've heard about the 10,000 hours thing. So what I've got to be good at something. Meaning, like, what have I spent most of my time in my life doing? And I thought, okay, most of my time I've been playing guitar, taking guitar lessons, studying music, writing music, playing in bands. So I thought to myself, could I be a great guitar teacher? Because I didn't feel like a great guitar teacher then, but could I, in theory, do certain things so that I can be a great guitar teacher? And my mind said yes, yeah. If that's the one thing that you've spent the most time doing, and you should focus on that. And then sometime in 2017, I just had this moment where my mind told me, you can be a guitar teacher. You can be a great guitar teacher, and you can make a living from it. Because for the longest time, I didn't think I could. Right? It's not the career that when you think about it, the first thing you think, oh man, you must be rich, right? Oh, you're a guitar teacher? Oh my God, you must be balling in money. No one ever has said that. But something inside me told me that, yeah, I can do this. I can be a great guitar teacher, and I can make a good living doing this. And then I didn't know how I was gonna like make that thing in my mind a reality, but I just kind of went for it. I was like, that's what I needed. I need to believe it within myself first. And then when you start a business, you start with one client, and then it becomes 2, and then 3, and then hopefully one day you'll have 500 clients. But it all starts with an idea and super persistence, patience, and perseverance. All right, so I am tired of hearing my own voice now. Let me see. Does anybody have a question for me?
I have a quick
I want to
question.
share just a few things about what are a few things that you could do to take your life to new levels. But I want to know if anybody has a question. And it doesn't have to be about what I said about your business. It could be about anything that's on your mind.
William, you had a question?
Yeah, I got a quick question for you.
Thank you,
How did
William.
you go from like taking that jump from what you were doing before to like opening your guitar business and starting like to teach lessons? Like that's kind of a risky jump to take, like financially. How did you go about like getting the courage to actually make that jump and switch what you were doing?
Yeah, William, thank you for this question. And it's honestly exactly the kind of thing that I wanted to really like push here today. So yeah, for a long time it felt like, I don't know, like, can I make a living from just teaching guitar, right? And so I was like, okay, I'll keep the restaurant job until maybe I'll get enough students, and then maybe I'll make the jump, right? Because our naturally we don't want to. We want our butts to be safe, right? But so here's the thing, William. I knew that when I had that moment where I was like, you can do this, I knew then and there that if I went and got a job until I got the students to then quit the job, right? Which is the traditional way of doing things. When you start a business, is keep working your job and keep building your business. And then once the business is big enough, then you quit your job. I I had tried that and it didn't work for me. And then, but when I had the belief that I could do it, that's when I said to myself, okay, I'm not going to give myself any retreat. I'm not going to get a job. This is how much money I have in the bank. I'm either going to find students or I'm going to perish, right? And there's this story about sometime in history, what do you call it? This general of a army, he sent his troops to this island to conquer the island, right? And he knew that, and I'm pretty sure that there were more people on the island than the people on the boat, right? He knew that if the boat was still there, then that some people would try and as they got to the island, and when the soldiers saw, that, oh, we're outnumbered, they'd just jump back to the ship and like try and get the out, right? So he burned the ship right after they landed, right? And guess what? Apparently in the story they won, right? Because the general just did not give them another option, a way out. So I didn't give myself a way out, and I just knew I had to make a name, William. I had to put the word out, and that's what I did, and it worked out.
Awesome.
But I was fed up. I was fed up, meaning like I just didn't want to. I was willing to take the risk because I was just fed up of like playing safe, basically. And that was important too. You have to get fed up of playing safe at some point. But thanks for the question. Anyone else?
I got another question. Name's Matthew, by the way. I'm sorry, my display.
I was about to say Bruno, but yes, Matthew.
You talked about your first client, and was it at that moment when you had your first client that you said to yourself, I could have 2, turn that into 10, turn that into 100? Or was it more like, I don't know, like this is something that like I really need to work on?
That's another really good question. Well, obviously when you have nothing, Carly's like, yeah, he got him thinking. So definitely having one client when you have 0 is definitely, makes you feel good, right? But yeah, look, truthfully, when you have one client, you have like literally just one source of income, right? So I will say this though, that, and this is something that I can still work on, if you treat that one client, so the more you treat your clients as just income, the higher the chance it is that you're going to lose that client and then lose that income. But if you really give that client everything you've got, like maximum service, then they're gonna take a note of that. They're gonna know that, man, this guy or this woman is going above and beyond their, to give me the best service. And then something that I learned quite late in life is that money is just, it's a byproduct. It's a byproduct of service. So if you can figure out the way to serve the most amount of people, but also in your best ability, meaning like you want to reach as many customers, but give them as much value as you can, or as the market, then you'll make money. So it really is a byproduct. So I think that one of the wisest things that I ever learned is spend time every day thinking about how can I serve more people? And also, what can I do to serve who I'm serving now more in a richer way, right? So yeah, Matthew, was that a good answer?
That's a very good answer. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Cool. Anyone else, guys?
I have a question. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll go last.
Please.
Oh, okay. Was there ever a time it got like hard when you like almost like considered giving up, but like obviously you didn't, and like what like got you through that hard time, if there was one?
So, Gabrielle, thank you for your question. Was this before the business or after? It like
Like after you decided like to open it up and like you got that first client, like did you like hit a hard spot in it?
yeah. And what did I do? Let's see. Your students are good, Rob.
Can I chime in on this one, Mike? Do you mind?
Please, because I'm drowning here.
You're doing great. So for those of you that joined, my name is Professor Kistner. I teach Intro to Entrepreneurship here at Iona. And we spoke about this in my class, so I wanted to just bring this up for those of you that aren't taking my class. You know, we talked about on the hardest day when everything is going wrong, how do you continue to do the things that you need to do to make it all work? And I think there's a few pieces to that. One is, Mike, I really appreciate that you brought up the fact that you knew in your mind that this is what you wanted to do. You wanted to be this guitar teacher and empower people to understand and love music. So that was a big part of it. But the other thing is you built some necessity around the things that you needed to get done, right? You kind of jumped in feet first, you took the plunge. And so there was a level of necessity there. So
yes,
that sort of counterbalances the challenge. But more importantly than that, one of the things we did in our classes, we spent some time thinking about impact statements, right? Really thinking inward and understanding what is important to you. What impact do you want to have on the world, right? What do you want to be remembered for doing? What change do you want to make? And for Mike, it was to take his passion and enrich other people's lives through the love of music. By having that, putting some time into identifying what drives you, it's a mindset thing, right? You can have the worst day possible, but have the victories that fulfill that impact statement outweigh the negative parts of running the business. And it's very, very hard to do that because there are some very, very low points when you're a business owner. There are hard days. But Mike set himself up, in my perspective, in a very intelligent way, because he knows what his impact statement was. He wanted to impact people with music, right? He wanted to take his passion that he went through undergrad and graduate school doing and impact other people's lives with music. And he also has a motivator of some necessity of making sure that he continues to operate. So I think both of those factors are important. I don't want to put words in your mouth, Mike, but it just struck as something I could relate to class very directly.
And I really, really appreciate that, Rob. And then, look, another thing that I didn't mention was that, actually, thank you for this, because I really wanted to bring this up. So, till this day, I will, and like I've worked a lot on my, mindset and my attitude, and I want to just share a few things about that. But till this day, I will still see. Maybe I'll go on YouTube, right? You know, there's guitar teachers all over the world. There is no shortage of great guitar teachers. Let me tell you, and there's no shortage of great anything. So, you know, there's quote unquote competition everywhere, right? And I'll catch myself till this day, even though like I've spent a lot of time being this positive dude, where I'll see somebody, maybe it's a YouTube channel or a YouTube video or their website, and I'll be like, damn, and then I'll allow myself to feel less than. I'm like, wow, Look at how many subs they have on YouTube. Look at how many courses they offer on their website, you know? And that doesn't serve anyone. And it certainly doesn't serve me when I'm thinking like that. And like this literally happens to me till this day, right? And what if I just switched my mindset and thought, wow, man, look at this person. Look at the kind of website they've built. Look at what kind of YouTube channel they've built, like in my same industry, right? Good for them. Like, how about take a second, and instead of looking at somebody like that and feeling less than, what if you just allowed yourself to just be happy for them for a second, right? That's something I need to do, right? And just be happy, and then try and learn from them, right? Because there's always going to be, quote unquote, somebody ahead of the game. There's always going to be a bigger fish in the sea. You know, there's always going to be people that. So I think the mindset that you want is to, if you can embrace other people's achievements, wow, it's a game changer. But Gabrielle, let's see. I want to give you an answer. So, yes, there's times that I wanted to quit. But when you're feeling down, or when you feel like business is really hard, it's because you're thinking too much about you, me, right? I realize in life that I need to become more and more happy and more successful. You have to spend slowly little less time thinking about me. And that, I'm not trying to say that you need to put others above you, right? But hopefully that answers your question. And I just want to share, just like, this is really short, because I was thinking to myself, okay, like, what are just a few things that I can give everyone here today that will that'll make a difference, right? Very easy. So here are just a few things that I've done that have really helped me, guys. So, in the morning, think about what you're grateful for. Actually, you can do this all day, every day. But like, whenever you're not feeling great, whenever negative thoughts are infiltrating you, just stop it for a second, and maybe you can just write things down, or you can just close your eyes and think about everything that you're grateful for. That's one thing that's been a game changer, because now you're on a different frequency. Your mind is on you're having different thoughts. Here's another one. In the morning, I love to, after I wake up, is pick up one of my books and read. And I'm into, like, the kind of like the self-help, kind of genre. So first thing I do is after I feel grateful, is I'll read some good material, right? Something that's going to inspire me, that's going to make me feel, like I can take this day on, right? A few more things. Reading, obviously exercising, meditating. Actually a lot of us don't do this. Take time to think, to just like, hey, let me just like think about how I can improve things. Let me sit down and think, and maybe write a few notes down. So that ties in with journaling and planning, and even like affirmation videos. I don't know if has anybody, I'm just curious, am I the only weirdo that sometimes listens to affirmations on YouTube? Have you ever done that? Be honest. Oh my God, I'm the only one. Anybody watch affirmation videos? Like where you say, I am this, I am that. Who is interested in doing that?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not the only one.
No, I like watching the ones where like you said about the attitude and the mindsets, that it will teach you, like, you know, about the bad habits and how to unlearn those bad habits, because it's really important to your mindset.
Amen. Amen. Cool. Well, I wanna thank everyone. I think I've said enough. I'll pass it back to you, Rob.
Sure. Thanks, Mike. And thanks for sharing all these different pieces of wisdom. You know, it's funny. I didn't ask Mike to talk about anything specific. I wanted just him to come and tell a little bit of his story. I think he has a great story, and I think there's a lot to learn from it. But so much of what you said so well aligns with the things that we've learned about in class thus far. You know, I think this idea of mindset, and you know, putting in the work to put yourself in a positive mindset, or what we talk about as a growth mindset, right? The idea of
It is work. It is
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. Oh, it takes a conscious effort every day. But, you know, I just wrote some notes down I want to relate back to. You talked about, you know, looking at YouTube videos of other guitar teachers, and rather than feeling envious or nervous because there's more competition, you have to change your mindset and say, you know, and just celebrate the fact that they're doing something great. Well, we talk about that in class as a growth mindset. You don't look at competition as competition. You look at competition as a colleague, right? And you celebrate their victories and learn from them. And that's key. That's an essential skill as an entrepreneur.
Yes.
The other thing as well that you said that I think is so important is you may not know what to do to move forward, but you just have to do something, right? And that's, you know, we think about entrepreneurship and a growth mindset with small iterative steps, not constant leap off into the deep end, right? Small iterative steps. You're constantly doing things, and they're very regularly going to be not the right thing. But because you're constantly taking these small steps, when something doesn't work right, you can reflect on that and say, okay, that was the wrong action. What should I have done? Or what could I have done better? Or what worked really well? And take another step. And so you're constantly moving forward, even if it's tiny little baby steps. And even if you trip and fall down, you're constantly moving forward. So again, this is something that's really important that we learn about in class. These things, whether you consciously do them or not, are all part of the process. The other thing as well that I you know, in our last, I don't want to speak forever. I want to let anybody else ask questions, but the value of relationships versus looking at clients as dollar signs, especially in a service-based business. I mean, I have a service-based business. You have a service-based business. Anybody can take guitar lessons from anybody, but they take guitar lessons with you because of you and the service that you provide, right? And it's important to, especially in a service-based business, but regardless, to maintain the human element to this. They're not, you know, dollar signs that just move through your online store. These are your clients, and you hope to develop lifelong relationships with them, whatever your product or service may be. So, and just the last thing I'll chime in, and then I want to open it up to questions is, I think with you, Mike, your story really exemplifies the value of storytelling, right? You have a very compelling story, right? You have a story that will motivate people and inspire people. You came here as an immigrant, working, bussing tables, like not knowing what to do, but knowing that you had more value to provide, and you made it happen, right? Storytelling is extremely powerful. If you were going to be pitching your business model, that story is going to be make a huge impact on any investors that would be investing in you and your company and your vision, because it's built around this story of coming here and going through all these challenges to make your dream become a reality, right? And so this relates back to the idea of keeping things human, right? To keeping a human element in relationships. Storytelling is very valuable and compelling, regardless of what your product is. So, you know, inadvertently, Mike, you've kind of like ticked every box of what we've talked about thus far in our syllabus in this class. So thanks for that. In our last 5 minutes here, do we have any questions from anyone?
Yeah, I have a question.
Please.
Alrighty, so like in terms of like finding a gateway towards like what you like. So for me, I'm also into like guitar. I've been playing for a while now. So like, would it be helpful to like start, I'd say, working in an industry that is revolved around guitar, like working at a Guitar Center or Sam Ash or something? Would you think that would be like helpful in finding connections to like going towards that passion, that drive?
Wait, am I mute? Okay, thanks for the question. What's your name? Because I can't find you.
Salvatore.
Salvatore. Oh, wait, there you are. You're on the first page. All right, cool. Oh, so you're into guitar too?
Yes. Yep.
Awesome. So, so Salvatore, I just need a little context. So you're like, okay, you're in college right now, and you're looking to see what your career is gonna be like, or what kind of career you could have after college, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're into guitar, and I'm assuming you're into music as well. Cool. So, any other industries or skills that you're interested in?
Technology, because I'm actually a computer science major, so that's why it's very conflicting for me to see what I actually like want to do in the future.
So you like? Would you say like you're good at programming?
Yeah, and that in terms of that stuff, like coding and stuff. Mm-hmm.
What should Salvatore do?
I think his question was kind of saying like, would he benefit from like working in the guitar industry? Like, would that help him get like get away into the business? Is what he's kind of asking.
Yes, and thank you, William. I like this guy. William's is a leader right there. He takes good stuff. Look, if you're wondering what it's like, what the retail world of guitars like, then yeah, do it. Do it for just try it out, honestly. And thank you, William. So you just reminded me of a book by Robert Kiyosaki, who said that like he would take jobs. Rich dad, poor dad guy. He would take jobs not for the paycheck. In fact, in his mind, that was the last thing. He was like, what can I learn from this industry, from this company, from this store, how they're doing things. And look, the fact that you have both an interest in guitar music and programming, that means that you've got a lot going for you. Again, I honestly, I'd have to just spend more time with you and really find out, what it is that you like about guitar and about programming to but yes, just to answer the question is yes, try out working at Guitar Center. But I would personally do it for you to learn what you can learn from it, as opposed to like, okay, I got a job so I can have a little money,
Yeah, I would say, just to echo that, I don't think you're going to get industry connects from working in Guitar Center, but
yes,
I would argue
agreed.
it's smart to do a lot of things and try a lot of things in a lot of different work settings to understand what that's really like, because you'll never know until you actually do it.
Yeah.
So, and just related to that, like if you want to be in the music industry, start making music. If you want to be a guitar teacher, start teaching guitar. If you want to be a documentary filmmaker, start making documentaries. You have to start doing it, right? So I would say, working at Guitar Centers is great as a work experience, but if you want to do something different, and you know what you want to do, just start doing it. And you're going to be terrible at it at first, but just start doing it because you'll only get better with time.
And as far as like, having like industry connections and all that, I found that the more that matters more when you actually start doing something, then people are gonna start getting interested in you, right? As opposed to you know, let me make some connections in the industry so that I can get a job. Um, yeah, but you, whatever it is, you're gonna. I believe in you. So and in all of you here as well.
All right. Well, thanks, Mike. Any last questions before we wrap up for the day?
I have a follow-up question.
Go for it.
Matthew again. For every business, for every occupation, it's been tough over this past year. How have you personally handled it as a businessman?
Matthew, you've heard that every recession, uh, eh, recessions are what make the most millionaires and billionaires. You've heard that before. Well, I'm not a millionaire or a billionaire, but I can tell you for a fact that COVID has actually flourished my business. So I just happened to be, it was just my, you know, I guess luck that it worked out for me. It couldn't have. I mean, it could have been like if I was a massage therapist. I think that they've had a hard time because of like, you know, you have to be with the person, you know. But yeah, I mean, every challenging time has opportunities in there. In fact, I vaguely know a physical, no, what is he, man? Is he a physical therapist? No, he's a chiropractor. Sorry, that's the word I was looking for. He's a chiropractor that I think like during COVID, he became like this, you know, health coach, right? As well as chiropractor, but he built this like, you know, health coaching into it. And yeah, so there's always ways around.
I've had the pleasure of participating in some like business roundtables where, you know, small business owners talk about whatever topic and share how a lot of it's been around, you know, pivoting and persevering through COVID and quarantine and all that. And it is pretty fascinating how people in industries like the event industry or people that owned like event spaces where we would have weddings and bar mitzvahs and those kinds of things have pivoted. I mean, it hasn't been easy, and without the, you know, PPP loans and all that, you know, many of them would have gone out of business. But people have been incredibly creative in sort of figuring out how to pivot, and it relates back to understanding people, right? Keeping that human element. You know, the really successful ones kind of talk to their customers and figure it out what they need. I mean, I'm a big advocate of design thinking. I teach a design thinking class at Iona, and that's all about empathy and understanding people, right? And so you'll see those that did a really good job spent the time and the
I'd
effort.
like to sit in one of your classes, Rob.
Next semester, Mike. You're welcome anytime. But at any rate, yeah. So you know, to spend that time and understand people, and then with that, you can be very creative in the way you can pivot to meet their needs. I think in Mike's case, it worked out for him because people had more time because they were hanging out at home, and maybe, you know, they always wanted to pick up a guitar but never had the opportunity, and he was smart enough to set himself up virtually and or safe and socially distanced. But you know, it's about recognizing opportunity, and part of that is easy, and some of it's not. Some of it requires a little bit of work, but hope that answers your question.
Well, guys, because I gotta go in a second, I want to thank you all for your time. This was a lot of fun, and I know this is good stuff. This makes me happy. Could we take a screen? I'd love to take a screenshot, and could you all just pretend that you had a good time and give me a smile?
Pretend like you had a good time. We all had a good time, Mike.
Pretend that you had a good time. Cool.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Mike. And for any of you that aren't in my ENT 200 class, come by Heinz. Do a lot of cool stuff. We've got the IIC coming up where you could win a whole bunch of money for your business ideas. We've got a bunch of great events coming up. I'm there 2 days a week if you ever want to share ideas or talk about any of this stuff. Professor Kistner. I'm there Mondays and Wednesdays. And thanks so much for joining. Hopefully we'll see you in another e-talk later on in the semester. And thanks to Mike. Mike, we'll talk soon. Let's jam one of these days. All right, everyone. Have a great day.
Guys,
Thanks so
have a
much.
great day.
Thank you.